I think when you have players that show emotion like that, I think it energizes. Not that they need it, but I think it adds to whatever they already have. And I think it's great. He has been. I said this a couple weeks ago. Of all the athletes I've ever watched up close, I can think of none, zero. And people say this in sports all the time, but I'm not just saying it to say it. I cannot think of one that came into a season with the expectation that he came into this season with, a contract like none other, deferred, whatever, but still the value of it, the length of it, like came in with massive expectation. I've seen 90% fail to get close to expectation. I've seen another 9.9% that meet expectation. I've only seen one that exceeded all expectation and continues to get better as the year goes on. Again, it's hard to find. I can't find another one, but it's hard to really conceptualize what he's been able to do with what he's been asked to do or what he's been, quote, expected to do. And that to me is the most remarkable thing he has. Speed and power. If you're scouting, you'll find speed, you'll find power. You'll rarely find speed and power. But that's what he has, along with now the ability to hit in different spots of the lineup and to do damage in close games. When he went to 50-50, think about that game. There's usually a buildup, right? You're trying to beat the 61 home runs of Roger Maris or the Babe at 60. It's 55, 50. It's like this slow walk towards history, right? Everybody's glued to it. This guy just ran right past it. It'd be like running a 9-second flat 100 meters. It wasn't even close to what somebody else had done. He just went right past it with 10 RBIs in one game. And the home runs in Florida and all that. How do you do that? How do you, I find it remarkable what he's done. And, he's had some distraction, interpreter. We know all that story, There's been distraction, expectation. I teach at Pepperdine. I had three of the great global marketing people from the Dodgers Zoom into class this past summer. And the amount of people in Japan that are flocking to California and Dodger Stadium, it's remarkable. That they have tours in Japanese, that the menu at the ballpark has got Japanese delicacies on it. I mean, think about the pressure to perform like that on a daily basis, knowing how many people are not going out of their way, but how many people are coming to see the greatest show they've ever seen. And, they leave saying, that's the greatest show I've ever seen. How do you do it? He's been going on and on here, but what he has done is absolutely remarkable. And I'm going to say one more thing. I would be more surprised than not if they can get through one round, and maybe even in the first round, you'll see him on the mound.
You beat me to it, Ned. I was going to bring that up. I wanted to end with that because I heard you on ESPN LA on that interview, and you said that statement with such confidence. But the other thing that I really admired about you is you were the only one that was pumping the brakes, because everybody would immediately right after Miami, when he had that 6-for-6 game, saying he's like the greatest player that ever lived. And I remember hearing you going, look, you seem to be the only one who wasn't a prisoner of the moment and being like, hey, guys, there's a lot of great players that played baseball in history. Yes, if he keeps doing this, yeah, he will eventually. But Ned, I have to ask you, he has been on a tear these last few weeks. If he goes into the playoffs and has a Corey Seager run from like 2020 or something like that, I've never been one to believe that one player, especially in baseball, can carry you. But he has really made me doubt it, because I was sitting there going, how are they going to overcome all these injuries? And seeing how this guy's been playing, I'm like, maybe it's him. Maybe he is this special that he's going to carry that. I mean, what would an epic postseason run for a Shohei do for his legacy?
Well, it's already sky high, but there's no limit to how high the sky is, and he's got the personality, he's got the competitive DNA. He's built to do it, and he thinks to do it, and he can slow his mind down to figure out in that split second. There's a million split seconds in the game of baseball that people got to make a decision. He's one of the absolute best in that split second times thousands and thousands and thousands. So yeah, I mean that he would close out a series, that he would close out the last series or pitch the 7th or 8th inning if that's where the game had to be stopped because 3, 4, and 5 were coming up. Again, if he's not feeling any pain right now, if he's on a regular schedule and he's throwing and he feels good about it and the trainers feel good about it, Dodgers have no reason to tell anybody what they're thinking. Zero reason. And you don't have to put him on the roster as a pitcher. You can do whatever you feel like doing. So are you going to see that? If they play at least one series, 2 series, and maybe just one even, I wouldn't doubt. Are you going to see him back to back? No. Are you going to see him extended out? No. But are you going to see him for a valuable out, 2 outs, 3 outs maybe? If he's healthy, don't bet against it.